Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Invasion stream, week 29, day 3. As well as the last time we'll probably need to do invasions this week. It is of course a repeat invasion event with that new, or not new, but the already existing elf troop that we end up having for invasions. And we're almost done, because we had one person in the guild go for a leaderboard, which if you ever have any person in your guild go for a leaderboard, you'd probably know that it makes pretty much the entirety of any of these events, like raids, invasions, stuff like that, ridiculously easy, because in them trying to get leaderboard, they will give you a lot of points, way more than you would normally end up getting, to the point that, yeah, we're pretty much already done with it today. We'll do our battles, and by the time we get on tomorrow night, we'll probably be all the way there. So I still haven't claimed these loots, so let's go grab all this. This is everything except the very last one, which gives us the orb. But might as well see what we get off the smaller orbs. Get a little portrait thing that we're never going to use. But I still like collecting them just because. Ooh, blue. Double blue. That is a great start. Can we get a triple blue? Aw, 2 blues, 2 oranges. I'll take it, though. That's still nice, 2 blues. But let's go get our battles done. Still using the same team. I planned on using this the entire week, and that's pretty much all we're really going to need. Double Sifu into Tulio. And then your last slot is just a assisting damage source. Whatever it is basically the biggest yellow damage source you have. Doesn't really matter too much what it is, as long as it's an elf or a hero weapon. But we're just going to be running this for the rest of the time here. And hello, everyone. Hello, Army Xtube. Hello, Bill. Hello, Caitlin. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Jellybean. Hello, Jefferson. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Kalthos. And hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome. And of course, also, if you haven't gotten the pet yet, or even if you do, just to get more copies of it, the Lucky Pet is available right now. And one nice thing that's really convenient about Lucky is it's actually one of the better 3 pets in the game. The best 3 pretty much being the resource-related ones, the ones for Soul, EXP, and Gold. And Lucky is the one for EXP. It ends up giving you a 1 to 5% EXP bonus for every single battle that you ever do. And getting it upgraded will ever so slowly increase the amount of EXP you get over time. Obviously, it's not much, but unlike many pets that don't apply to barely any battles at all, Lucky does apply to every single battle you ever do. So even though it doesn't seem like much of a bonus, it's making up for the fact by you get it every single time you ever do a battle. There isn't a single battle where it does not apply its effect, so it's pretty nice. So we've been needing to gain more levels, a great thing to go and get. I'll probably do it just for the sake of getting the pet food. Obviously, I already have it maxed. It was one of the first pets added to the game, or, you know, the first batch that was ever added. It was within that first batch. All 3 of the resource ones actually were. But still, if you haven't gotten it upgraded yet, definitely a great time to get more copies. I still don't feel like it's worth throwing gems at it. I did for the Mimic, and I felt like it was honestly a complete waste. I also did the pet food for it, too. Ended up crafting brown pet food, and overall just didn't really seem that worth it. This is still really weirdly priced. The price for spamming pets upwards. But as far as doing, you know, the free 8 battles, like you would normally do for a pet, definitely advised to at least do that, of course. But anyways, let's go and finish out these invasions. We already got all the normal rewards that we can get through going through all these sets. We're pretty much just getting some more points for the guild so that we can end up getting all the amount we need to go get the final reward. We're actually pretty low, probably because we're tied at buying pretty much the minimum since we only bought up to the 3rd pack, which is why we're a little bit lower than everyone else. And everyone might not gotten the memo that you actually don't need to buy as much since it's a repeat event. However, there could be some people in my guild that weren't playing when the event first came out. However, you still would have been able to accumulate copies from gem keys and such. But, yeah, some people might not have maxed it the first time around. The Tulio, or not Tulio, the, I keep forgetting his name because he's a really weird one. Sifu Yan. Let's see, we'll move that over for now. Grab ourselves a green so we have the Tulio for next turn. And then that will give us all the manas we need. I was like, hello, Zex! Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is very adorable. There was a poll a while back, and I think at the time, that poll is pretty much the cutest pet in the game. Actually, I'm not sure if it was an official poll or what. I know there was something, and Lucky either was one of the highest or the absolute highest as far as which pet found the absolute most adorable. That was back when we didn't have as many pets, though. Like, we had like a 1/3 the amount of pets we currently do now. But still, it won pretty much first place at the time. The Lucky pet. Let's see, we'll grab that. Get our Pokety Poke. Kill out the other one. They also gave some free copies of it out in the past. I think in the past we've gotten like anywhere from 2 to 4 free copies of it. over the course of multiple different instances. They really liked giving that one out for free. Probably because it's not souls or gold. Like, of the 3 really useful ones, I guess it's theoretically least useful. Because EXP doesn't necessarily give you resources. It technically does in that every level is 100 glory and a event key. But comparable to that of something like the 5% gold bonus or 5% soul bonus, it's basically a very, very small bonus that doesn't do much. But of course, having higher levels is still beneficial. You gain stats every 100 levels once you reach beyond, I think, 100. Actually, beyond 300. I think it's exactly every 300 levels or so. They end up getting an additional stat towards your hero. As well as, of course, every level beyond 1,000 up to 2,000. Oops, I almost misclicked on the one that had barrier. That would have been a fail. Then we just do that, and the skull will kill it because it does not have skull reduction. And then this dies out. Let's see. How dare you not be exactly on time. Hey, we started like 1 minute off the timer. That's pretty much on time. Salty started very on time last night. Or the other day. I feel like it varies with almost every single streamer. Just because there's definitely things that can happen pretty much at any point before stream that ends up making it so the stream does not want to work. Like, I had to update the encoder before this stream. Otherwise, I probably would have been up at the exact 8 on this time. So that does remind me, I do need to end a little bit earlier today. Probably about like 5 or 10 minutes. Because the Democratic debates tonight, and I did want to catch that, is the first one that Mike Bloomberg got onto the stage by literally buying the election. So we'll see how that goes. Should be interesting. And we'll go poke him with that, and he's dead. And one more battle if we don't get Valraven Tower here. Oh, and we get Valraven Tower, so we actually got another 2. Okay, what do we take here? We'll grab a green for now. Let's see. We'll take the yellow. Yeah, I'm not sure what Bloomberg's trying to really do. It's really weird. He came into the race in like November or December or something. Bought his way all the way through the election with his billions. So he's only spent hundreds of millions, but still. And, I don't know, it's just really weird that he even bothered running. What he did is almost like the equivalent if Hillary just like started running right now again. But sure is speculation that she might. I think in some betting websites, Hillary Clinton is actually in like 4th or 5th place for winning the election if she's not even currently running. Just because there's so much speculation that she might pull a Bloomberg, obviously with less money, but with way more name recognition, and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna run again and lose to Trump again. It's really weird. Politics is weird. What do we even grab here? We'll take, I'll take a blue for now. There's nothing really decent to take here. And now we just double poke. We're actually going to need a triple poke because we need to get rid of that barrier. Actually, probably should have scolded there. Actually, no, I shouldn't have. He got stun on us, which does prevent us from getting that additional multiplier down. That's some really juicy alignment right there. Oh, no, we can't kill, though. Please get unstunned. No, that's not enough to kill. Oh, we still go for it. It's a lot of damage. Now it's dead. Okay, that was enough to kill, just because we cascaded it. It takes a billionaire to replace a billionaire. Not necessarily. Another Valraven Tower. Nice. We've been getting really lucky on Valraven Towers this invasion. I'm not sure if invasions just naturally have a higher rate of them. But he's been going really high. Any team suggestion with Tina and or Tesla? Yes, both of them work out pretty well. Tina's probably a little bit of a better option, though it depends what specifically you're doing. Tina's really good at upscaling a bit more than, Tesla is better at upscaling compared to Tina. Tina's particularly good at the lower level delve range. It kind of works a little bit like a Catcher's the Bull, in that you cast it twice and win. So you tend to use it with Mountain Crusher and a bunch of other mana generators. And no, we're finally at the point we don't one-shot. But you tend to use it with a bunch of mana generators, fill it up, and then just keep spamming it. It works very similarly to a Ketris at lower level range. And as far as Tesla, that tends to work a little bit at higher range. You can go for an armor buff onto your team, but normally just cycling mana into her tends to be pretty good. Things like Dwarven Gates, things like Valkyrie, even just things like a standard mana generator, like a Mountain Crusher, Leprechaun, stuff like that, end up working out pretty well for her. And also, since we don't one-shot anymore, we'll go and give him 60 additional damage, and now he one-shots again. Oops, that's not where I meant to go. To the invasions! Let's see, let's get these last 2 battles in. Or 4 if we get another Leprechaun. Yeah, double Tesla is insanely good. Holy Saint Astra is a 50% mana start for them, and then you can just use one supporting option. I personally find mana generation to be a little bit better than armor buffing them, but you can go down the armor buffing route. It depends what kind of stats you're up against. If you're doing it for like a PvP or something, you're probably better off going mana generation, possibly even pet battles. But if the stat difference is like more than double or close to double, it's probably better using something like Urskia Shield or similar armor buffs to get them up. Yeah, Tina can also half mana start, of course. You can do Tina half mana start off a Mechanist hero class. And if you are going to run Tina, it's pretty much required that you run Mechanist hero class. Similar to how you almost always run Holy Saint Astra with Teslas. Just because they get mana up so much quicker that way. Because they definitely, both of them don't really have a particularly low mana cost. So getting them at half definitely helps speed it up, at least for their initial cast. Also quite a few battles you can single cast. If you have 2 of them, you can just single cast to win. Obviously a little bit less likely that you have double Tina. But double Tesla does get a relatively quick win. Assuming you can 2-shot. I would not really advise using Teslas if you can't 2-shot the entire enemy team. Otherwise it's a bit slow. It's kind of like the whole Crimson Bat thing. It's one of the reasons why Crimson Bat doesn't really get used much in the current state of the game. It's only particularly good if it can 2-shot the entire enemy team. And Crimson Bat at this current moment in time can't really 2-shot too consistently. Whereas Tesla still can in many instances. Which is one of the reasons why it tends to be favorable. And there we go. There's all of our battles. And while we're not done with stage 12 yet, the rest of my guild will do their thing. The other guy who's going for leaderboard will claim his leaderboard spot somewhere. He's probably trying for top 50 or so. And yeah, we should have that by tomorrow then, most likely. If not tomorrow, very soon, TM. But anyways, let's go claim our mail. Oh, I didn't claim my guild task from earlier today. So we have all guild tasks done. And I say that because we've hit legendary tasks. And apparently we got something too. We got a, only a Luna. I thought that was a mythic for a second. Aw, why you gotta give us a Luna? It is still possible to get mythics off of legendary tasks. Obviously the rate is still the same lowness that it's always been. But still possible to get random legends. Still possible to get random mythics. As you can see, there's a random legend. But anyways, that's all that. Let's go clear out our dailies real quick. Since I already have magic set, I might as well go use the Tina team first. Or not the Tina, the Phoenicia, I mean. So let's go clear out dungeons. Battle. Oh, I'm already set to it. Nice. Probably get a level on Abel soon as well. I keep using this for this team. Just because it's one of the red classes I haven't maxed, and this team needs Red Storm to function. Also, hello, Haley! Welcome. Glad I can make it. Is it worth it to play Pet Rescue of you already have Pet maxed? Yes. The reason that you would do a Pet Rescue, even if you already have it maxed, is for the pet food. Assuming you do not have every single pet in the entire game maxed, or like hundreds upon thousands of spare pet food, it is generally worth doing repeat pets, even if you already have them all the way up. Mostly because any additional pet copies that you get converted to their color pet food. So if you get something like 3 extra lucky copies, when you already have 1 copy of it at Mythic, you can use those extra 3 copies to convert into purple pet food. And they convert 1-to-1 to whatever color pet food they use. So if it's a purple pet, they convert to purple. If it's yellow, it's yellow, so on and so forth. So yeah, any extra lucky copies we get, we'll just be able to convert over. Let's see how many do we currently have. What am I looking for? Might as well just type in its name. Lucky. Lucky. So as you can see right now, we have 5 extra copies of Lucky. So if we were to go and just go and trade in extras, we get 4 pet food. And it just brings us down back to 1 copy. And then we can do the same thing once we get more copies, of course. You can do that to every single pet. They still have not added a button where you can do that for all pets. I will be reminding that to them this patch. Not sure if they're going to get it in this patch. It's a nice quality of life feature. But it is one of the things I did want to mention to them in case they forgot. But we really need a button for that. Because a lot of people are starting to get to the point where they can convert their spare copies to additional food, and it is really slow going to each individual pet, clicking there, clicking upgrade, clicking trade in, clicking yes, and doing that every single time for every single pet you need to do. It just takes a while. They really just need a button kind of like Disenchanting where you just click one, get them all done, and then stun. it would save pretty much a half an hour if I was to go and manually do that to every pet I have excess copies of. And then once we get more copies, we'd have to do that again. And I don't know, it's just really time consuming for something that can be done with a single click if they were to code it that way. But anyways, let me go and, oh, we already cleared out dungeons. So let me go and clear out our daily adventure board. We'll hand out a code. Then we'll probably mess with leveling some. We already got Barbarian maxed, or not maxed, but you know, level 70, which is as high as we need. So one thing that actually happened that other day when we ended up doing that, which I didn't really make much mention of, but we finally have every single hero class back to level 70 plus. Still, of course, need to get 100 base, which we haven't been able to get yet, but we will soon, TM. Eventually. Anyways, let's go switch over to this. I guess we'll keep getting Barbarian XP, or then again, I don't know. Not really worth going higher than that. We might as well try maxing out one that we're actually going to use. So, for example, something like Hierophant. I was getting up some. Let me just make sure it's not using a weird storm. And nope, not using any kind of storm. Actually, Green Storm wouldn't be bad. I don't think it has Green Storm, though. No, it does not. What extra mana is it using? Let's go green if we're going to be using in this kind of team. Anything else we need? I think that's kind of fine. Okay, so let's go with that. I do want to get this maxed. It has a really unique aspect that no other hero class currently has. And while it's not that useful, it's still an interesting aspect, and that is that it has, it's the only class in the game that has triple damage on burning with cleanse on extra turn. The main benefit that this has is it allows it to skull spam while automatically cleansing. So you have triple damage skull spam while having cleanse whenever you take an extra turn. So if you're taking a bunch of skulls, you won't have to worry about entangle, you won't have to worry about freeze. There's a lot of mechanics you can end up bypassing by having that set up. And it's the only hero class that has that set up. I haven't actually been able to test it yet because we don't have it at 100. And I feel like that might be one thing within hero classes that quite a few people are overlooking, including myself. Because that has a lot of potential. Because that counters a lot of the things that generally hard counter a skull spam team, while still having the triple damage output. It's very situational when you would use it, but in those situations, it could be the best possible option. And that tends to be the way that most hero classes are. Most hero classes you don't use for every single battle. You just use them when they specifically hard counter something. Frostmage is a pretty good example of that. Though, actually, I guess you could theoretically use Frostmage for everything. But something like Plague Lord is more of an example of that. It's so similar to Titan that you would normally just use Titan because it would overall be better. But there are specific situations where you need to hard counter high magic-based abilities, where the disease and spell reduction that it has is better than the benefits that Titan has. Same as kind of like Sentinel, where you would normally use Titan, but it has the skull, so much skull mitigation and barrier that occasionally it's used instead. As well as with Urska teams, of course. Speaking of buttons, you'd glad they added the Ascend button to all ascendable troops. You kind of wish they could do that for traits as well. Yeah, it would be pretty nice to have the same for traits. I'm actually surprised they haven't. I guess because even they know there's some bad traits that quite literally make things worse rather than better. But it is kind of weird that they haven't done it for traits as well. It might also be because of how they would figure out how to allocate it. Because let's say you could trait like 50 out of 100 of your troops. How does it decide which 50 end up getting upgraded? At least with Ascension, the check is pretty easy. Because all you have to do is check, can it be ascended? If so, then just do it. But with trait stones, it would be a little bit different. Because it wouldn't really know what order to prioritize upgrading them all. So I can actually kind of understand why they don't have it for that then. Because would it go for the lower ones first? Would it go for the higher ones first? Would it just do it randomly? Whereas with Ascension, you know if it is or is not enough copies. It doesn't like overlap into any other troop. Every troop's Ascension is based on their own. Anyways, that's all that. Let's go hand out code. Oh yeah, did Salty give me more? I didn't check earlier. The answer is probably no. I need to go remind her tonight. Let's see. That's funny. I accidentally replied one of the codes back that I had highlighted earlier. That is kind of convenient because now I know which code I used last. And no, she didn't give me more codes. So I need to go remind her tonight. Let's see. Where is the thingy thing? Thingy thing! Trying to find the, gosh, there's so much scrolling through this. How many messages have we given back and forth to each other? A lot, apparently. Yeah, we're running low on codes. Come on, Salty. Where is the code section? Put that right over there. Make sure this works. It should. And yes, it does. Put that right over there. Paste, paste, copy, copy. And here you guys go. Here is the redeem code used on gemsofwar.com for the game code section, or simply click that link. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever game says right over there in the bottom left corner is what you put in. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random numbers and letters. And it gives the same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. It only works on PC mobile version, of course. There you guys go. Okay. Next order of business. Since we're already leveling Hierophant, I guess we'll keep going. And just go do that and explore a little bit. Maybe go get level 80 for now. Because we don't really have much to do in Underworld. We have more shards than we know what to do with. We have like 22,000 right now. The only thing that we still need to do pure faction on is Steve's Sorrows, but it's going to be near impossible without potions, especially if I'm leaving at level 100, which at this current moment in time, I think I might just do it with potions, of course. We still have about, I think, 6 or 7 weeks before we can do Steve's Sorrows off of potions. But, yeah, I believe we are going to be doing that. And it's the only faction we don't have maxed, other than the new one coming this Friday, but obviously no one has that maxed, because it doesn't exist yet. Well, we will by, like, Saturday or Sunday or so. But, yeah, it's technically the only faction we don't have maxed, which we'll have done as soon as it's next possible, which is very soon. I would need to go and double-check the exact date by seeing how many more factions we have between now and then. But, I'm pretty sure it's 6 or 7 weeks. Though we do have to keep in mind that the current faction is going to cycle again. So in about 4 more weeks or so, or a few more weeks, we're going to get this faction again, which seems kind of weird. But it's mostly because we haven't gone through this entire cycle. And the way that factions go is they immediately go into the cycle. So if we had like a faction right before the rotation in which that faction would come around, you could have a faction event and then pretty much have the faction event right over again. It has happened before, where we quite literally had back-to-back of the exact same faction event. It's very rarely happens. And this one won't happen exactly back-to-back, but it will happen within like the same month. Like we're going to have it this Friday, and then we're going to have it in like a few weeks, like mid-March or something, again. Man, anyways. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to go do. Let me go do the pets. I almost forgot. How could I forget this thing? I upgraded it, but I forgot to go and actually get more copies of it. Completely forgot. Let's see. Yeah, but not everyone would want to do it based on base rarity, though. Is the only thing. If they were to upgrade all the traits that way. I was like, hello, Lochnar. Didn't it happen with Mirrored Halls? Yeah, I think it might have been Mirrored Halls. I know it happened at least once. And it happened within like a week or two, multiple times. But I think once it was quite literally back-to-back, where it went from the faction event to the faction event. There's basically only a 1-day gap between it not being the faction event. Because, of course, there's nothing on Monday faction-related. But it basically went a 3-day long faction event, and then a break. And then the day after was another faction event of the exact same faction. But the way that factions rotate, it's based on when they were released. They go in exact order of which they released. And we're starting to get to the end of the cycle. So it's possible when it gets to the end of the cycle that the most recently added faction might end up repeating very quickly. That's basically what's going to happen this time again. Where is Skeleton Key from? You get it from 250 wins on Thief hero class, which is actually one of the better hero classes in the game. It's arguably the best stealthy hero class in the game. And Thief hero class is obtained from completing out the Zasian quest line. So if you haven't already done that, you can just do that there. There's a location where I normally go exploring too. It's not necessarily the best location, but I don't know, I just have a habit of doing it now. I should probably pick a different location. Zasian doesn't have anything bad. The only thing that can happen, depending on what your damage output is there is a legend that gains 20 additional HP when it's in last slot, and there's also a legend that if it happens to randomly get an extra turn, ends up giving 5 HP to all allies. And those two aspects can be a little bit annoying. There's also one that has a silence extra turn spam. Very rarely do any of these three really come into play, especially if you have a higher damage output. But it is possible that they occasionally do. And there's some slightly safer kingdoms, but every single one has their caveat. Like Leonis Empire has nothing too threatening, however it does have some mana drain, which if it happens to get lucky can of course slow you down. But every single kingdom has like a little something that might slow you down. The main ones you want to avoid are spell reduction, because they reduce a lot of damage, and anything that has a % chance of reviving, like 25% revive, 50% revive, 100% revive, which exists in Groshnok, is really annoying. I feel like the two absolute most annoying are Groshnok and Dragon's Claw. Dragon's Claw has around, gosh, too many. Dragon's Claw, I think, has like 4 things that have a % chance to revive. And the main thing with Groshnock is not only does it have like 1 or 2 25%, it has the only 100% in the game. Basically making Groshnock unplayable for Explore, just because of how much slower it is compared to every other location. Sure, Lochner, you can send a picture to me. Yeah, sending it to me directly in messages is normally the best way to contact me. I really do need to check my Discord more often, though. Discord in general, I tend to not check that often. Most social-related things I don't. I need to a little bit more, though. You're playing Sims 4 while watching? Nice. I actually do have a spare copies of Sims 4. Haven't bothered playing it yet, though. At this point, I'm pretty much just waiting for Sims 5. My enjoyment of a Sims game is basically how well can you make your own business? I feel like Sims 2, from what I've played so far, has honestly done it the best. But I haven't actually tried Sims 4 experience in that regard. I'm not sure how many packs they make you have to buy to actually be able to play it realistically, though. That's the only really annoying thing about Sims in general. They just have so many packs that they nickel and dime all over the place. That makes it rather expensive. Though, is it possible to share... what is it called? Origin? Is it possible to share Origin across different PCs? I'm not too sure. Because if it is, I know my mom absolutely loves playing the Sims ones. So if I could just share her my account of Sims 5, I could probably do that when I get it. But yeah, she's been hooked on it. I got it for Christmas fur. So I gave it to her in around Thanksgiving. But she's been hooked on Sims again for the last couple months. Let's see. We'll take that down again. Yeah, Sims 2, personally, I would say is my favorite Sim so far, out of any of them. It just did so many things right. And that's pretty funny, Twilight. Yeah, I'll get back to it eventually. Probably around the time of Sims 5. It would actually be the first time that a Sims game gets released since I've been doing this channel. Because Sims 4 released prior to me ever having a YouTube channel. So I might stream it a bunch when it comes out. It's been ages since I played a Sims game. I think it might be over a decade? Actually, a decade and a half? Like an actual legit Sims game. You know, not things that are similar to it, but like actually Sims. Because Sims 3 was the last one I played. And it was prior to Sims 4 ever existing. When did Sims 4 get released? 2013? So yeah, it's been at minimum 8 years. If not longer. Since I played a Sims game. Might be longer. There we go. Grab all that mess. Get our 2 luckies, which just become pet food because we already have the max, as we already mentioned. And might as well immediately convert it to food. And there we go. 2 extra pet food. And there we go. I feel like doing that to all of them, but I'm just hoping out that we'll get a button for it next patch. If we don't get a button for it next patch, I think I'm going to manually just transform them onto food so I know how much pet food I actually have. Because I don't know how much pet food I have right now. Because how much it actually shows is not how much I have. Like, those numbers are not correct because I haven't actually transformed all my other pets to food yet. And until we do, we don't actually know how much food we have. I should probably start upgrading some of these. I've been kind of only upgrading the ones that actually have useful bonuses. But we've been getting a lot of cosmetic pets. That are faction pets that technically you don't need a max once you've already completed out pure faction at that point. So they're a lot less desirable to actually bother getting up. Oh, here's one that's, oh, never mind, City of Thieves. Nope. Another one that's useless. I think I've upgraded every single pet that has any usefulness to it. Let me see. Let me go to upgradable. Useless. Oh, never mind. You're, yeah, Frostfire Keep, useless. Mirrored Hall is useless. Steam Pet, useless. As far as bonuses, useless. Primal, technically useless. When would you ever use a pure Primal team? Dark Pits, useless. Fangmore, useless. Cosmetic, useless. Cosmetic, useless. Stonesong Airy, useless. City of Thieves, useless. Actually, this one wouldn't be useless if you were to use two of them together. Like if you were to go use the Legend with the Harpy Mage to go do mana accumulation. So maybe we'll get that upgraded. I don't think I ever bother using that combo though, but some people might. Cosmetic, so it's useless. Warren's useless. Cosmetic, useless. Useless. 5-year pet. Useless cat. Useless pirate. Useless rat. Useless shark. Useless koala. That one's not upgradable. Yeah, every single one I have left has no applicable bonus. Not a single one. But every single one of these, other than for like the gems we get and the orbs, have no real direct benefit from actually being upgraded. That's quite unfortunate. Anyways, just wanted to double check that. Though we might need them for a level 20 pet. So there are some instances where we might need to go do that for a bunch of kingdoms. Easiest way to do that to see, go into troops, go into pets, and search by kingdom. And do every single one and see if there's a second one that needs to be maxed. So right here, Boom Madonna. We could go to that one. And just basically go down kingdom by kingdom to every single actual kingdom and see, does it have 2 maxed pets? And if not, if we already have one that can be maxed, go and max it. Otherwise, just leave it as is. Can this be maxed? No, that's the Shark Day. Actually, we don't have a second one that can be, do we? Because this is all old event stuff. So that's unfortunate. However, whenever it gets a faction, we'll be able to go do that. Basically, we need to see if there's one pet here, as well as the faction pet. And if the faction pet's the second pet, we need to go upgrade that faction pet. So if we were to do this for every single one, we'd kind of be able to know that. And if we already have 2 mythics, obviously we wouldn't end up needing to do that. So like right here, we have the other thing we wouldn't need to do because we already got the faction one. Or actually, that's not even the faction one. It's just a thing that happens to be upgraded. Also, since I already started this, I might as well go all the way. Oops, that's not one. Dark Pits, Dark Stone. Already got 2. Drock Zoom. Gosh, Drock Zoom, we have like no pets. Divining Fields. Wow, we're 1 copy off. Can that actually be upgraded for a level right now? It might be. Dragon's Claw. We already got 2, so that's done. Drifting Sands. Oh, we haven't gotten to that one yet. Though it doesn't have a faction yet, so we could just do that faction if we need to. Fangmore is not one. Why am I clicking on it? Forest of Thorns. We already did. Frostfire Keep Golvania. Doesn't have one yet because it doesn't have a faction yet. Glacial Peaks. We already have 2, so we don't need to upgrade the faction one. Groshnock. Doesn't have one yet. Guardians. Hall of Guardians. Karkaroff. Doesn't have one yet, and it's pretty much already there even if it did. Kazale doesn't have one yet. Kedar does, so this would be one where we would immediately go and upgrade it. So good, we actually found one we need to upgrade. Perfect. So we'll go and upgrade this guy. Waste some of our white food. And there we go. We found one we need to upgrade. It's probably not applicable to a star right now, but still it will be into the future when Kedar gets more troops. Leonis Empire doesn't have one. Right, you're from an old thing. Are you? Never mind, you're City of Thieves. Wait, why aren't you maxable? Yeah, you're maxable, never mind. Alright, let me go do this one then. That's one that's actually applicable to go and get upgraded. There we go. So we found 2 that we needed to. Nice. Let's see, where were we? Leonis Empire. Magrim Woods doesn't have one. Merlantis. I know you have one. Where is it? Oh, Merlantis is Sea of Sorrows. It's the only one we haven't maxed. Fail. That's why. But yeah, we need to go do that. We will eventually. But yeah, it's a Sea of Sorrows one, which is why it doesn't show that we have it maxed, because we don't have it maxed. It's literally the only one that we haven't done Pure Faction for. Mr. Scale is another one This is the Dark Pit, so let's go get this guy maxed. Send him all the way, get him upgraded. We shall find every pet that needs the upgrade. Ooh, that's a lot of white pet food. We'll go for it, though. Ooh, my white stack. It burns. Taking my whole white stack away from me. Pan's Veil has one. Let's go do this one as well. Good thing we have all the yellow already, so that we don't have to use any whites. There we go. Okay, who else still needs the upgrade? Pride Lands doesn't have one. Primal isn't one. Primal Rift also isn't one. Sea of Sorrows isn't one. Shantang doesn't have one. Oh, but it will soon. Oh, never mind. No, it won't. But it will have a hero class soon. Silver Necropolis isn't one. Silver Glade is, though. And it already has 3. Wow. Oops, I already clicked Silver Glade. Sinner Mirage, probably, yeah, it doesn't have any. That's what I thought. Stone Song Airy isn't one. Stormheim does have one, so let me go do that. This probably uses blue. Yep. Oh no, half our weights have gone away. We like zeroed out almost every color. Got a lot of red. Probably because that Steam pet ended up giving a lot of red with it. What do we have still? Suncrest. This one I might just let go up naturally. However, we can do it off this thing. Since we already have it upgraded some, I guess we'll go all the way. Why not? I was mentioning that bonus anyway, so we might as well. So now we have 2 for that as well. What else do we still need? Suncrest, Sunken Fleet isn't one. Sword's Edge already has it. The Vault isn't one. The Warrens isn't one. Why am I clicking on it? Arskea already has it. Werewoods isn't one. White Helm already has it. Wild Plains, and then Zejin. Oh, and Zolkiri. And I already has it. And the last one, Zolkiri. And you don't have one yet. Okay. So that's all the upgrades we need. Let's go gain all of our loots. And that's all the ones that we need for probably eventual upgrades. And from that, we get a lot of upgrades there, or a lot of things. We get 65 gems and 3 Orbs of Chaos. Can we get more blues? We've been doing pretty good on blues today. We got 2 out of 4. And, oh, well, we got 2 purples. Wow, we really seem to like doing 2 good ones into an orange today. So earlier we did 2 blues into a double orange, with the first one being a single orange. And then we got 2 purples into it. So not too bad on orbs today. So what is that total? We got 3 oranges, 2 purple, 2 blue. I'll take it. That's above average. 0 green, so that's what I like to see. 0 green. But there we go. So that's all the pets we really need to upgrade in the immediate future. And actually, yes, that was for a star. I forgot to go claim a star because of the pet. So yeah, we got 17 Mr. Scales out of that, which I forgot to get earlier at some point. I think that's the only star we get from that, though. However, the rest of those that we just did will be applicable to other stars that we'll be able to get into the future. But that's why I did it, so we could get more stars. But obviously that one was the only one. And I'm actually surprised I even did do one. I guess I just forgot that we had the pet condition on it. But that's why we did it. Anyways, mistakes were made. But anyways, let's go and grind out this hero class a little bit. At least get some amount of EXP on this thing. So let's just go to explore and get this thing out. And I will be ending this a little bit earlier just because I did want to catch the debate before it started. And it's starting at 20 minutes from now. Oh, you got a Nisha token. Congratulations. Very nice. You don't know how you feel about pets becoming pet food. There was a lot of jokes about it. Your pets becoming pet food. The wording that they had was pretty morbid before, too. I'm not sure if I have a screenshot of it saved somewhere. They've changed the wording since then. Like, it wasn't, like, extremely noticeable, but if you read too into it, it sounded really, really wrong. What it previously was. I'm not sure if anyone still has that screenshot anywheres. I forget if I did. And if I did, it's probably buried in my screenshots. Because I have so many. But it's pretty funny. Because before, it really sounded like you were converting them into food. Quite literally. Hey, 20 ultra rares. Not the best drop, but it's 2 epics, so I'll take it. Gotta get those epics up. We still need a little under 400 more epics until we have every epic weapon in the entire game maxed. I'm in no direct rush to get that done, but still want to be grinding it some here and there. Or not grinding it, but, you know, working towards it passively. Pet sausages. You have 66 Cedric medals and don't know what to do with them. What should you do with them? Just upgrade commons, rares, and ultra rares. As of version 5.0 patch, we are most likely getting the stars expanded up to 30. They currently go to 20 stars. However, we're likely going to get an expansion to 25 stars, which will bring it to legendary stars, and then the 30 stars, which will bring it to mythic stars. If they're doing that in 5.0, we don't 100% know for sure, but it seems like they are going to be doing it then. And one thing that has already been confirmed that is almost guaranteed going to happen when they expand a star level is additional star levels beyond 20 will require you to own epic leveled troops, which are those elite levels. I mean, not epic levels, but it'll require you to have things within the troop bronze leveled or silver leveled or gold leveled. How many we don't currently know, but it is likely that doing lower rarity ones would be quite beneficial, because similar to how most of the other conditions were, it's likely just going to check the amount of number that you have. Like when a kingdom tells you to go trait X amount of troops or to go level X amount of troops, so like 17, 18, 19, 20 or something like that. It normally just checks the number, not the rarity. And obviously lower rarity things are easier to get up than higher rarity things. So there's a good chance that you should start focusing right now, if you're all the way in endgame, on getting commons, rares, and ultra rares upgraded. And the best way to do that is on a common, use one guard, or use one common token, then one ultra rare, then one ultra rare. And for rares, use one rare token, then one ultra rare and one ultra rare. And for ultra rares, just use 6 ultra rares. And if you start running a little bit low, or if you feel like you're starting to get more of the commons and more of the rares upgraded, you can of course do one rare, 2 rares, and then one ultra rare, and do one common, 2 commons, and then one ultra rare, and do it that way. And the reason I keep saying ultra rares is because for whatever reason, it's almost twice as common as the 2 lower rarity ones below it, as you can kind of tell by the fact that you have so many of them. But that's mostly what I'm using my ultra rares for. Is to upgrade, obviously, ultra rares and to help assist commons and rares to get up. So that when elite levels, I mean, when level 21, 22, 23 kingdoms come around, when we need like 5 troops from the kingdom to be bronze, or like 3 of them to be gold leveled or something like that. If you do that on lower rarity ones, it'll be a lot easier compared to trying to do them on epics, legends, or mythics, which take a very long time to get. I think I only have 2 epics maxed, as well as only 1 legend max and 0 mythics maxed. What's the best way to farm tokens? Spam Explore 12. The best team for it is the, I still personally think the instant kill Scorpius is currently the best team. That might change into the future. As it stands right now, running Urskea with the Scorpius team, I would say, is the absolute quickest at the moment, which is go to Urskea, go to Explore, go to 12, and use this team if you have everything for it. It's a rather expensive team, though. Where'd it go? You can somewhat do the same with Urskea Shield into Rowan, but it's much slower. What am I looking for? Also, some people choose to go use Skeleton Key with Double Cedric. This gives a more gold per hour, however, it gives a lot less tokens per hour by like half. Even slightly slower than half. There it is, Explore 12. But it's Mountain Crusher, Scorpius, Leprechaun, and Uriali set to Mountain Crusher. The Uriali can be replaced from this team, however, there is no replacement for Scorpius, unfortunately, because he's the only troop in the game that double instant kills. But there are other poison options, of course. Anything that poisons all enemies quickly can be used in place of Uriali. Uriali's just the quickest because she does it off a single extra turn, which you normally get passively anyways. Hey, you just Scorpius, then rinse and repeat. And not only is this the best way to farm, or one of the better ways to farm gold in the game, as well as trophies, it's also the best rate of tokens in the entire game. That's technically the only thing it's absolute best for. That and arcanes. There's also the best rate of arcane trait stones in the game as well. So if you want to get more arcanes to upgrade troops, this is also the best method to do so. But that's the 2 things it's absolute best for. A lot of things it's really good for, but the 2 absolute best is tokens, has the best overall token rate, and it has the best gosh, I just mentioned it. The best arcane rate. The best token and the best arcane rate. Some other things that it's really high on is it has a really high trophy rate and a really high gold rate. Pretty much like the 3rd highest gold rate in the game, 2nd or 3rd, as well as having a pretty decent trophy rate. It's around, what is it? About 180 trophies per hour. There are some methods that are a bit quicker than that, but it does get around 180 per hour. I think the quickest is closer to 250 an hour or so. So it's pretty close, obviously. And as far as gold, it can average around 350,000 per hour. However, there are some methods that can get a little bit closer to 400 to 450,000. Like using double Cedric quick kill teams at high explore. And that's that one only annoying thing about this faction now. Ever since about a month ago, this faction does have a 25% chance to revive on one of the troops. It very rarely happens, but it can still happen, of course, as you can see there. Which is the only annoying factor that exists here. It's still worth it, though, because this is the only faction, or the only kingdom in the game that has no immune to poison. There are no other locations left that have no immune to poison. There are quite a few that only have 1 immune, but there's nowhere that has 0, other than Erskaya. Sure, Lochnar, I'll go check it after. Actually, I might be able to go check it now. Let me see. Discord. Let's see, what did you send me? What's this picture of? $1? You're right. How many were in the container? I wish my dollar store sold that. My dollar stores don't sell anything good. They have like a bunch of stuff that may contain nuts. And it's all like cheaper stuff normally. But, wow. That's a lot of cases. Yeah, what's the count on them? I can't see by your image. Let's see. We'll go take that over. Share picture with stream. It's a rather small picture because I think it was taken on the phone. Oh, I don't have my Discord set up on this other computer yet, so I'm not sure if there's an easy way to do that. What if I copy link from here? Let's see. I'm gonna open this link. Does pasting this link into stream actually work? I'm not sure if it does. It either will or will not work. Let's see. Did that work? Does that open? That's a weird way of trying to open something. But if it works. Let's see. Going to our own channel. Hey, another Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer really likes advertising on us. Also, we're not logged in. I forgot. I can't give myself a like. Also, who gave us that dislike? No, I was kidding. It's fine. What was I looking for? Let's click on the linky link. Yeah, this thing. The sellers. Yeah, they're amazing. Very, very nice. But yeah, I love those things. They're really good. Never seen them at a Dollar Tree before, though. Tom Steyer gave me that dislike. Probably. I'm definitely not a fan of Steyer or Bloomberg. Though if I had to choose one, I'm probably more of a Steyer fan than a Bloomberg fan. So I'm not really a fan of either. But if I had to pick sides... let's see. We'll get that down. Speaking of that, debate's going to be starting soon, so I'm probably going to wrap up as soon as we get our next big chest off this Explore 12, which we'll get as soon as we get 4 more battles down. You pulled Possessed King today. Nice, Johnny. Congrats. Off of event keys. Is he, wait, off of event keys? Wait. It's not the event for him, is it? I'm confused. Isn't this Zol Carry event right now? How did he get Possessed King? I am confused. How did he get event key? How did he get Possessed King off event keys? Wait. It's Zol Carry event right now, right? Yeah, it's Zol Carry event. He shouldn't be in drop table. Oh, you're on Switch. Oh, never mind. Okay, I was gonna say. I was really confused for a second. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. I didn't read that part. Okay, that makes sense then. I forgot. Switch version does have Darkstone event this week. I was gonna say, because it's definitely Zol Carry on every other platform. Is he the only good for his Explode? Pretty much. There is one other instance you tend to use him. High King Iron Gut, if you happen to have him, which does exist on Switch version, I know for sure. But if you happen to have a High King Iron Gut, you can use his Transform to get rid of their immune to Devour and synergize it like that while also mana accumulating for it. But yes, in most instances, like 90-95% of instances, you're using Possessed King almost entirely for his final trait. Very rarely are you using him for any other factor. I know, I'm personally not too huge a fan of Possessed King, personally. Some people really love him, but I don't know. He only really serves the purpose of mana accumulation with a lot of board clear. The kind of teams he shines the most on are generally Skull Spam teams, particularly Skull Spam teams that have some amount of Doom Skull creation, since doing a bunch of explosions onto a board of Doom Skulls tends to clear out almost the entire board. It can get a lot of Skull Spam into that, especially if Skull Storm or Doom Skull Storm or either one are in play. So those are the main instances where he tends to get value. If you're using him just on a high mana accumulation team, I wouldn't really normally advise it, unless you just didn't have another mana accumulator. But I don't know, it just seems like skull-oriented teams are about the only thing he really gets used for, as far as better value. I don't really care for him much in any other kind of circumstance. Some people really like him. I know, i.e. Key Lime. I know, I only consider him a bit above average. He's good in what he gets used for, but I don't feel like he has a lot of applicable uses compared to other mana generators. There are ultra rares that can mana generate better than him. He's good if you're extra turn spamming a lot, but not that good otherwise. He also gets rather slow startup compared to some other options, compared to empowered options. And you're using a whole slot basically just for his trait in most situations, which is a big liability. Honestly, I prefer Tulio over the Possessed King as well. Though it depends on what kind of team you're doing, because they both function for the exact opposite type of team. Tulio is used on teams that tend to cycle through abilities, whereas Possessed King tends to be used on teams that cycle on the board. Because they both serve almost the exact opposite. Because Tulio, you don't want to be getting extra turns off of, whereas Possessed King, you want to be getting every single possible extra turn off of. But I do kind of prefer Tulio as well. It's used for some rather interesting teams. So is Possessed King. But the playstyle of Tulio I prefer better. But anyways, guys, let's go get this chest, and then we're probably going to be wrapping up. Hopefully we'll get ourselves our double Nisha. Let's see. We'll move that over. Grab our splodies. And then double kill to double kill and be good to go. Any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, we'll be wrapping up for tonight, and we'll be back same time as always. Hour prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, in case I forget tonight, anyone who's going to catch Salty's stream tonight, can you please remind her to give me codes? To give Tacet codes? It'd be greatly appreciated. Oh, hey, we actually did get something good. We got an Anu. A single Anu. But hey, they add up. Nice. It's not a Cedric. I mean, it's not a Nisha, but I'll take it. Still a higher rarity one. And we get a Cedric out of it. Yeah, we really need to get back to doing Explore 12 more often. I've been doing so much Explore 3 trying to get hero classes leveled that I haven't really been getting that many higher rarity medals. Because you don't really tend to get much of the higher 3 rarities when you're doing Explore 3 spam. Mostly because you can't even get Anus and Nishas. And a Arachne, the epic rarity trait stone drop rate, or the token, is pretty much the same as a Nisha on 3. So the chance of getting the epic on 3 is about the same chance of getting a Nisha on 12. That is how rare it is. Which is why we pretty much get nothing but the lower 3. When does Salty start again? She'll be starting in half an hour. She'll be starting at 9:30. She'll be doing Puzzle Quest, though, not Gems of War. I believe she's about halfway through Puzzle Quest, which reminds me, I still never completed through the Puzzle Quest. When do you do that sometime? We could probably finish it in a few days. Unlike Salty, who's dragging it off for like almost a year now, it feels like, by the time she'll finish. But, yeah, we still haven't finished out the HD remake. She's just doing the old version of it, though, not the HD remake. She was going to, but she couldn't get the Switch thing working. I'm not sure if she eventually will. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't, though, because she has the dev build, too. Will she ever finish before the year ends? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We haven't streamed it for like 4 months, and I'm still probably going to finish it before she does. We could get it done in like 2 streams if we really focused on it. But we'll probably spread it out a little bit longer than that. We'll see. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will catch all of you guys soon, TM. No, we'll be back hour prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we are every night. Catch you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. And, oh yeah, let me go get the link to Salty's stream as well, if any of you do want to go catch it. Yeah, she's just doing puzzle quests, but she might answer some Gems of War stuff. And yeah, if anyone is there, do remind her to send me more codes, because I'm going to be watching the debate thing, and I'm not sure if it's going to overlap completely with her stream. Probably will. So, I already reminded her on the forum, but it would be nice to verbally have it in her chat as well, just in case. Otherwise, we're going to run out of codes on, like, Saturday. But there you guys go. There's her stream. She'll be there in a half an hour. She's not starting right now. Still be a little bit. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget to go get the Lucky Pet if you haven't already gotten the copies of it. Goodbye, everyone!